Yes. How are we doing? Welcome to the training. Welcome to the webinar. Hope you're good. Let me just kind of see who we have got in here while I just sort this admin out. So just while I'm sorting this out, I just want you to let me know, number one, where you're from. Number two, okay, why you're here. What brought you here? What was the thing that you kind of thought to yourself, do you know what? I might be drifting. I might be inconsistent. I might not have an idea of where I'm going. My identity is all over the place. And this is the time to be brave, right? This is the time to comment that. So just comment exactly what it is that you're here for, okay? Why I just set this up right now before we get ready to go. Cool, we just got a couple of other people coming through, which is good. Okay, so in the comments, we got people here who are drifting, struggling mentally, lost in their business. Okay, we've got inconsistent, lack of control, no plan, no mission, drifting. Okay, so we've got an idea. So it looks like you're here for the right reasons, right? So we're here to self-lead ourselves. We're here to improve the way that we show up as a businessman, as a leader, as a high performer, right? So we're going to get stuck into this. There are 7 steps along the way. This will be about 20 minutes, 30 minutes max, okay? And we will go through this. So the first thing that we look at is exactly who is this for? So this particular training is for those entrepreneurs, those coaches, those consultants, those high performers, those leaders. Maybe you're an executive, maybe you're a director, who knows? But you're somewhere out there where you are leading, okay? And we're probably not leading ourselves as best as we could, right? There are no operational systems in place. There is chaos. There is a lack of clarity. There is an anxiety build-up. There is an identity conflict. We're not showing up at our very best, right? We're kind of caught in that space of being fairly average. We're fairly successful to people from the outside, but on the inside, maybe we're fairly hollow. Maybe we're cuffing it. Maybe we're wearing the mask. Maybe there is more to come from you, right? But we're not quite reaching that potential. So if you fit that category, you are in the right place, okay? And this is definitely going to help you. So we're going to go on to number 2. We're going to look at the different phases. I want you to understand the bigger picture, okay? And where this training fits in at that bigger picture. Now, the way that we operate, there are actually 4 operational phases, but there are 2 pre-phases where a lot of you will go through. Now, the first one is the drift. Now this, I've seen people drifting for 10 years, but I've just put 0 to 5 years here. So the drift phase is when we are just drifting through life. We're not doing anything about getting better. We're not doing anything about improving. We're not doing anything about solving the problems that we're coming up against in our business, in our leadership roles, as a father, as a husband, within our own health, mentally and emotionally. We just kind of drift. We're like a boat in the ocean with no sail, and there is no bearing, okay? And the drift is where everybody starts, okay? All of my clients, anyone that I work with now or have worked with, they've all started in the drift. And then we have the disruption phase, okay, here. Now this is almost where you are. You are here at this disruption. So I have disrupted your drift by you seeing an ad, by you seeing an email, by you seeing an Instagram story, wherever it might have been. You have come across this and we have now disrupted your drift. So hopefully we can get you on the right phases and the right track, moving in the right direction, okay? So they are our pre-phases, and our operational phases come into Ignite, which usually takes about 90 days. Ignite your mission, rebuild your mission, rise within your mission, and master your mission. So we take people through this 12-month journey, right? And this is ultimately where that journey starts. But we're not going to talk too much about that. We're going to talk a little bit about it later on, but we're going to talk about the disruption. We're going to talk about what are the problems, why have we been drifting, and what do we need to do to self-lead ourselves. Does that make sense? Is everyone with me so far? Does everyone agree that they've been drifting? I'll be really interested to know how long you've been drifting in the comments. So in the comments, let me know how long you think it has been since that you've been in this drift mode, in that boat with no bearing and no sail, kind of just drifting, right? So you can let me know and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay, so that's who is this for, the phases. So who am I to be able to help you? I'm going to spend like 2 minutes max at this, I hope, because it's about you, not me. So my name is James Bourman. I'm a former Royal Marine Commando. I served as a Royal Marine Sniper, I served as a Royal Marine Physical Trainer, and I served as a Royal Marine Adventure Training Instructor. So my role was to take people who joined the Royal Marines and make sure that they were physically, mentally and emotionally conditioned for war over a 32 weeks period. Now I was responsible for anywhere up to 200 to 300 recruits at one point in their development, right? I have been involved in thousands of those recruits' development. We have been involved in professional rugby teams, cricket teams, football teams, in terms of their personal and physical development, mentally, emotionally, and physically, to get them to the very highest level. I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, dads, fathers, and getting them to their very, very, very best. Okay, and we do that by building a mission, building systems into our life, and having more control and clarity. Okay, I'm a father to 4, an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. I am now a father to a 4 and an 8-year-old as we stand. Happily married. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I live by jiu-jitsu. I love running. I run 50 and 100 milers. And I throw around the weights. My story is that when I left the military, spent 3 years in a deep dark rut in a trench. And in November 2012, I very, very nearly committed suicide because I lost my identity, I lost my purpose, I lost my drive, I lost my challenge, I lost my fire, and I did not know who I was. And I ended up sitting on the edge of the bed with a ton of pills to take an overdose, with a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I managed to just withdraw myself from that situation, go out on this 3-hour yomp/run, and kind of come back and kind of realize that I got a second chance here. And that was the very first day of my second life. Okay, and from that point, I have built myself up to where I've been with you today. I've written 2 best-selling books, and I talk a lot about that story in my settings. So the first one we put out in 2017, which is A State of Mind. The second one is Remember the Mission. Between them, I think they've got like 600 reviews. Okay, so when it comes to me knowing men, I know men inside out. Okay, I know their behaviours, I know their excuses, I know why they fall into pity, I know how to get the best out of them. That's what my superpower is, okay? So that's who I am, and hopefully I'm going to get that across to you in this training that we're going through right now. And this is just an insight. You know, there is so much more to this. There is so much more to action. Do you know what I mean? So let's just have a quick look. So we've got a couple of people who are talking about here. So we've got John, who's been drifting for 3 years. We've got Mike, who's been drifting for 7 years. We've got 3 years, 2 years, 2 years, 6 months, 10 years. So you can see a lot of people drift, right? So good for you for being here and being in the room, okay? So let's get stuck into here. Who am I? We've done that. So we're going to look at the top 3 blockers. Before we can lead ourselves, we have to understand the things that are holding us back. Now, the things that are holding us back, we don't tend to pay too much attention to. But if we're going to fix something, if we're going to cure something, what we need to be able to do is understand the problem in the first place. Why are we just existing and not living? So there are 3 key standout reasons why so many men that walk through our front door. These 3 problems really stand out. So I'm going to go through them. So the first one is no personal operating systems. Okay, no personal operating systems. So when we look here, there are 4 key standout signs, and let me know if you recognize these. So we have very impulsive, very reactive on a day-to-day basis. We have no structure, routine, or systems in our life or our business. We rely purely on willpower, and there is no real momentum moving forwards. So if you recognize that in the comments, just put yes. Okay, just yes. Let me know if that resonates. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So people are already recognizing that. Okay, so good. Second one is low boundaries and high chaos. Low boundaries, high chaos, okay? So identity features here are, you're a yes man. Yep, I'll take that opportunity. Yes, I'll stay late. Yes, I'll do that extra work. Yes, I'll sacrifice personal space for professional gain, okay? We're not intentional. So you're not intentional with your actions, okay? So an example of this might be when you wake up, you might get up and be reactive. Got to get my coffee, got to get my keys, man, where's my suit? Man, where's this? Man, where's that? And, you know, maybe not, where's your suit? But like, you know what I mean? You're waking up and you're behind the pace boat, okay? You're not intentional. You're not ahead of the game. You're not thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, okay? Low energy, drained, like neurologically exhausted, and I hear this all the time. I'm just too busy. I'm just busy. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy, which is crap. All right. You're just not effective. Okay. No, any man who comes through this here, when you start mastering your life, you're effective. You're not busy, which means you're doing the things that you know you should be that move you forwards. Right. Not the things that you're not trying to do everything. Okay. Let me know if that resonates. Just a couple of yeses. Yep. Are you here? Are you low boundaries, high chaos? Cool. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Making sense, right? So it's like, yeah, these are the things that are standing out. And there is, of course, more than 3, but these really are the big ones. So identity shift. Here's the telltale signs, okay? You're successful, but feel hollow. It doesn't feel enough. Why? I've got all of this stuff, but why don't I feel successful? Okay. Disconnect between the person that you are right now and the person that you want to be. You have this idea of how you want to run your business, how you want to run your career, how you want to run your personal life, how you want your health to be, but we're not getting there. There's this disconnect. We don't know how to get there. We don't know how to find the right avenues. Okay. We're just in a state of just existing. So although we wake up and we have built something, or we're in something, or something's working for us, we're just existing within that. And I found this a lot with sports teams, actually. A lot of the sports teams is like, well, what we're trying to achieve, because they weren't in the mentality of going in the top 3, we're challenging, they're just showing up. Their mentality as the sports team was not waking up and going, we can win it. Just because we finished 10th, 11th, 12th over the last 3 seasons doesn't mean we can't wake up. So we have to shift that mentality. We wake up and we win, right? We can't just fall into a just existing state, okay? And then right here, we're just not purposeful. So we're just not purposeful, okay? So that means we wake up and we feel unfulfilled, and we kind of think, what's the purpose of our life? What are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to get out of that life? And that's not something that you can force. That's something that comes as you build yourself. When you start to lead you then start to see all of those things. Does that make sense? So let me know if these resonate. Well, I just quickly rub this off. Okay, like the school teacher. Okay, so a couple more yeses coming through. This is starting to resonate, right? Which is good. Because if it didn't, you'd be in the wrong place. So we're going to get into the systems. Now, I'm going to teach you the systems of our Ignite phase, okay? And it's a bit of a model. So let's see how my drawing goes. So the main aim of our first 90 days is to be able to self-lead ourselves, okay? So I'm just going to put that here, okay? In order for us to do all of the other stuff, build missions, follow our dreams, live the life that we want to, we have to have the fundamentals. When I think about the Royal Marines, this is like doing your basic training, which is 32 weeks long. You have to learn how to soldier. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. You have to learn how to surface, fire your weapon, all weapons. So you have to have all the very basic skills and foundations before you go on and you specialize in something else, right? So I did that, become a Royal Marine, did a year as a normal grav, then I specialised in a sniper, then I specialised in tactics, then I specialised in map reading, then I shifted my whole career and then went on to become a physical training instructor. But the foundation was always the same, okay? So there are 3 key pillars to this. Okay, number 1, okay, and this is system 1. So this is when we're looking at the systems, so if we just go back here, we can tick that top 3 blockers. So we've got systems 1, 2 and 3. These are the 3-step self-leadership system that will help you lead yourself. So we call this SRS, structure, routine, and systems. And if we can nail these, I can guarantee you that you will feel more in control of your life than you ever have. Okay, so there are a couple of key SRSs that we have in place. Okay. Cool. So the AM routine is absolutely integral to priming your mind, emotions and physical state ready for the day. It's to ensure that you are in a positive state, you're ahead of the pace boat, you're ahead of the game, you're in a positive frame of mind, you're on top of your game, and you are ready for the world. You are preparing for the rest of the world to wake up, and you are ahead of the game. You are primed, you are ahead, you're self-leading yourself, okay? The PM routine is the opposite. It's to ensure that you rest, recover, and be present. Ensure that you're the king of the home. Make sure that the kids are running up to you as you walk through the front door. Okay, making sure that like your wife is there and you are fully immersive within that family home. Because for us, success starts at home. Okay, so that's our PM routine. Then there is the transition routine. The transition routine is the routine that bridges the gap between leaving work and getting home. So that transition routine will allow you to decompress, be distracted, to be able to be well planned and prepared for the next day, so that you build yourself to be ready, okay, to go home. Most people walk through the front door and they're reactive. They come in, they throw their stuff down, they're stressed, they grab a beer, they sit down, they're not talking to you. It's grumpy, it's miserable, it's negative, and your kids and your wife see that. It's all here, right? And then the last one here is time blocks. So that's how we master our time and our energy and focus, which we'll come on to in a minute, okay? So we create frameworks of our day, okay? So if you think about when you went to college or school, you were given a timetable, and that timetable would tell you when your class was, where it was, what the study was, and who was the teacher. So you would base your life around that, right? So you're like, oh, I've got college on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. It means I can study and train on Tuesday, or I can work on Thursday, whatever. So you base your life around it. And it's the same principle as a system to self-leading yourself, okay? So you go, right, 9 o'clock to 12:30 is only growth work within my professional role. Okay, then after lunch it's operational work. Then in the afternoon it's logistical and wrap-up period. So, go into more details on that. But basically that acts as a structure and a routine in the system so that you're doing the right things, you're prioritizing your work, you're moving it forwards, you're not a chaotic shambles. Make sense? So this is really, really important to do. And the key thing to this is repetitions, making sure that we're doing it over and over and over again. It's accountability. Got to make sure you've got someone holding you accountable. That's what we do within our group, in our community, right? We ensure, that the guys are doing it, that they're putting their morning routine in, that they're showing up for their community and themselves. And there are different levels of those accountability within our program, right? So this is absolutely key. Your structure, your routine systems forms 1/3 of your pillars to hold your platform for you to self-lead yourself. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? So let me know in the comments what from that you learned. What did you learn from that? What was the takeaway from the first system? Why I draw this second one. Okay. Cool. Let's have a look. Great. Structure is king. Yep, accountability. Need someone to hold me accountable. This is great stuff. I need more of this. Good stuff. Definitely need the morning routine. I'm very reactive. Cool. All right, so there's some good takeaways kind of coming through there, okay? So we're going to go on to system 2. Now the second system, I've got all these abbreviations. It just makes it easy to remember. TEF. T-E-F, okay? That's time, energy, and focus. So what this is Number one, boundaries. Now, boundaries are one of the most important things for high achieving, high level leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, consultants, coaches. Not enough boundaries are enforced. Number one, there's not enough set up, right? And there are not enough enforced, which means that brings chaos. It's opening up the floodgates. It's like the boundaries is like the dam. Okay, and as soon as they are not enforced, if they are not strong enough, they are not negotiable, the dam collapses and everything kind of comes down on you. Okay, so boundaries are absolutely critical to managing and mastering your time, your energy, and your focus. Because what you want to make sure is that you're giving time and energy to the important pieces of focus. Okay, which brings me on to the next thing. Priorities. Now, whenever we think about priorities, if I said to you, tell me the top 3 things that are your priorities, you would probably turn around to me and go, oh yeah, it's this, this and that, this, that and this would end up being something from your work. I can guarantee you, whenever I ask this question, it's a bit of a trick question. I go, what's your top 3 priorities? And a lot of people just automatically reel off what's inside of their head in terms of what's happening with work. So the way that we deal with that is that we go, cool. So the first thing that you will have to do is understand what your priorities are in terms of your health. You are the priority, not your family, not your wife, not your kids, not your business, you. And it's the old saying when you've got an aeroplane, when you get the oxygen mask down, put it on you first, because you can't put it on your family if you are passed out. So your priority when you're thinking about focus and your time and energy is like, right, when do I work out? When do I get my workout? Okay, the second one is, when's my family time? When does family time start? When will I be home? When will I leave in the morning? What will we do at the weekends? And it's understanding where that time and energy is being put into the family. Then you can look at the business or your career and you go, right, okay, so what is really important to do? What's my £1,000 an hour job that needs to be done in the business? And we're focusing our time and our energy. We're becoming almost sniper-like in terms of how we distribute our time and our energy. Okay, and that brings me on to the third. Okay, number 3. What are you tolerating when it comes to your time, energy, and focus? Are you giving away your time and your energy, okay, for free, for very little back? Are you tolerating other people coming into your life, exhausting you? Are there no systems in place to be able to protect that? So all those things that you're tolerating, if you want this particular life, we have to shift our mindset so that we tolerate certain things so we don't end up in that same boat. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? Okay, and I think that's what's really, really key here, really critical, really important to understand, is that you have to start tolerating less BS around you. Okay, less chaos, less distractions. You have to become this model of almost perfection, if you like. There is no such thing as perfection, but you have to really know your standards. You have to have your boundaries. You have to have your non-negotiables, and everybody else has to kind of fall around that, right? It's like being the rock in the river and everyone else going around you, okay? So that's system number 2. Does that make sense to everyone? So we kind of look at this and we kind of go boundaries, priorities, health, family, business, and then we're looking at the things that we no longer want to tolerate to protect that time and that energy and that focus. Because that time is more valuable than any money you've got in the bank. Because if you're, let's say I work with a couple of 8-figure business owners, and money's no option for them, right? No option, no problem for them. But one of the things that I did when I worked with one of them was going, what is your life based around? And it was always based around KPIs. And he had a lovely daughter, still has a lovely daughter called Charlotte, and he wasn't basing his life around that, and he did, and he changed his values, and we're 7 months in, and the way that he looks at his life is completely different because everything is based around her. Business decisions, everything is based around her. And that's a monumental shift mentally, right? Because they're no longer tolerating allowing work to be the main factor, right? Make sense? So tell me what you learn. Why I write this in here, the third one, the third system. Cool. Oh, that's wrong. Cool. So let's have a look. Family has to be priority. Success starts at home. Yeah, good stuff. Master your time. Time is the priority. Love that one. Time is the priority. Time is king, right? Cool. Some good ones coming through. Yep. Boundaries are king. Boundaries are important. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so boundaries. Like I'd say the biggest takeaway now are your boundaries, right? So the last one is the 4 C's. Now this is more identity based. This is system 3, right? So when we look here, the first one is consistency. Consistency of action. Now there is a reason we have this funnel over 12 months. Most people try to achieve everything that's in this 12 months in the first 90 days and you can't do it, right? If I asked you to run 30 miles over 30 days, every day for 30 days, could you do it? Okay, you just couldn't. 30 miles every day for 30 days. Not a chance. But if I asked you to run 2 miles every single day for 30 days, could you do it? Absolutely. Of course you could. You could, right? So it's important to understand that consistency is working towards the level to this standard, the conditioning that you're at. I am not fit to run a 100-miler at the minute, even though I've run 3 of them. But I am going to do one next year, and I am starting to train now. So I am going to be conditioned this time next year for that 100-miler. So again, it's being consistent. It's about knowing your levels, but then planning through the phases how we get better. So your level gets better, so we can raise the expectations, so we can be more consistent. Problem is people's expectation are here, their level of conditioning is here. Because there's this huge deficit, people stop, people slow down, people fall off the bandwagon, people try to take on too much, okay? Control. So this is control of your time, your energy, your focus, your structures, your routine and systems, but also your emotions. You have to have this emotional headquarters, right? This emotional headquarters where you just simply can handle and master and regulate everything that's going on inside of here, because your emotions are the trigger to you being successful, okay? Your emotions are the trigger to you being successful or not. So your emotions got you here. Your emotions are why you're still here, okay? Your emotions will be a huge part of the next phase of your journey, of your personal development journey, right? Your emotions will dictate your relationship with the people that you love the most, the direction of your career. It's so important that we maintain control of it. Plus, discipline and resilience. Got to control those levels, right? We've got to make sure that we're doing things that we love. Number 3 is clarity, and it's simple. Clarity of knowing where you're going and how you're going to get there and who is going to help you get there. Now, when you get to this stage here, okay, that clarity will be far less than when you're here. Okay? It may take 9 months for you to figure this out, because there is so much work to do on yourself. There are so many reps that we have to do. There is so much that we have to learn about ourselves. And there is this key thing, right, where people want to rush this. We're not about the rush, we're about the long game. So if you think about these stairs, okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And each one of these represents, okay, your progression. And what we have to do when we're here is go step, 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 step. That's what we do, and that's what this process is through here. But a lot of people want to do this. I just want to go there. Problem when we skip that is when we don't learn anything about ourselves. We don't do the reps. We don't understand how hard it is. We don't understand our own resilience. We don't build up the resilience and the discipline to get to this stage, right? The discipline is doing what you love doing, but it's just you're not used to doing that stuff. So you want a more controlled life, but you're just not used to having structure, routine, and systems. So what you do then have, okay, is the discipline to be more structured, routine, and system, because it makes you more in control, which gives you a better life. Okay? If you like being in chaos, then you don't need discipline and resilience. You don't even need this training. Okay? And then the last one is simple. It's commitment. You have to want it. You have to really want it. You have to really want to change. You want to really show up. You want to be a better husband, a better father. You want to be a better businessman, a better leader. You want to be challenging more. You want to help in your friends. You want everyone to look at you walking in the room going, who is this guy? So there has to be that commitment. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so just the 3 systems, the structure, the routine, the system, the time, the energy, the focus, the 4 C's. These build up as a pillar over 90 days to create you as a better self-leader. Make sense? Good stuff. Tell me the number 1 gold nugget in 1 word that really best describes your takeaway, your gold nugget, while I rub this off. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Whew. All right. Biggest ones. Let's have a look. Okay. Boundaries. Structure. Priorities. Success starts at home. Self-leadership. Self-identity. Cool. So just a couple of good ones there. Okay, I mean, obviously there's a couple more going there. Leadership, action, execution. Cool, all right, so we're getting the gist of it. So we have, we've gone through who's this for, the phases. We have gone through who I am to help you. We've gone through the top 3 blockers. We've got the systems, the 1, 2, and 3. Now we go through to the next phase. Now what you will see attached somewhere here is the resource to help you kind of plan out for the next 90 days. But if you would like to come and work with us for the first phase of this journey, maybe you want to go all in, but for the first phase on this 90 days, where we help you build that model, okay? Okay, so that over 90 days, we help you build those 3 systems, okay? And the way that we do that is that, funny enough, we have our own structures, routines, and systems to help you do that. And this is a system, operational system-based funnel, if you like. I don't even look at it as a program. I look at it as a lifestyle. It's a case of us taking a software update and inserting it into your brain and going, over the next 90 days, I'm just going to take your scattered gun approach and we're going to bring it in to be compact like a sniper, so that you are clinical, meticulous, okay, you're focused, you're in control, you have clarity, you're organized, you're a self-leader, you're the king of your home, okay, you're confident in front of the mirror, you can walk through a front door of an office, of your home, and you can feel like you're 6 inches taller than you already are. And that is what about rekindling with the best version of yourself looks like. We can do it at this very, very basic level here over these 90 days. And when I say basic to you, you'll go through and look at all of our videos and you'll be like, wow, there's a lot of content here. Okay, we teach you how to do your morning routines, how to do your evening routines, how to transition, how to show up at home, okay, how to plan your days, your weeks, your 28 days, your 12 weeks. And it's just that natural progression to give you the tools to become that mission operator, okay, to be that operator where you are showing up, okay, and you are slowly every single day getting better and better and better and realizing more and more and more. And you will be astounded at that when the chaos has come and the control has taken over, how different your brain works. Your brain works in a very, very different way. Okay, so I would love to make you an opportunity, if that's all right. And that opportunity is to come and join us for 90 days on our Mission 90, okay, first phase, and to come and be part of our community. We have around 100 guys that are part of this. We have morning accountability, we have Wednesday check-ins, we have weekly planning, we have our frameworks, basic level frameworks for you to work through. We have our Monday mission mastery room where you'll be able to get access to me and ask any questions or listen to some of the other guys and build up your ammunition and toolbox. There are evening masterminds as well with some of our other coaches, as well as doing a theme one with us. At the minute we're doing a work-life balance project where we have 12 articles, we have a printed out handout, and we're really deep diving on that transition from work to personal space. So there is massive ongoing training. There is quarterly meets, and as well as other packages as well to give you everything that you need to become the man that you want to be. Okay. So the way that you will do this, that in the comments, I will put the link, okay, for you to go in and have a look. Okay. So we will offer you at a discounted rate for a limited time to come and join us. And if you feel like you want to book a call with us, you can do that also, which is what I'm going to put in the links, okay, in a second. I think the team are going to put it in there. So if you feel like you want to book a call before like going ahead and investing, then do that. You feel like you just want to talk to the team, you just want to make sure it's right for you. Or if you know that now is the time, that you don't need any more convincing, that you've seen the basics of, and you look at this and you go, I want that software update inserted inside of my brain so that my life runs better, so that I can reach more of my potential, and you're ready for the challenge, then just click on that and secure your spot. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? So the last part, which is the wrap up, is just to say thank you for being here. Okay, so you're here, you've taken this huge step from drift to disruption. The next step is to come down this ladder. Okay, what I don't want you to do is be on that hamster wheel where people flip between disruption and go, that was really great, I can do that myself, go away 2-3 weeks, nothing happens, and then you go, oh, you're back into that drift. The hardest part of your development is going from drift to disruption. Okay, the easiest part is going from disruption to ignite and then building that momentum. Okay, and we also do a guarantee, right? The guarantee is that if you show up and you follow what I tell you to and you meet me halfway, you cannot fail. You can't fail. I've never known anyone in the 8 years that we've been doing this project to ever fail that has shown up. All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching. It's been absolutely brilliant to have you on board. I hope to see you at the next phase. Okay, ready to go, ready to build your self-leadership table, okay, and get to the next level of your life. I'll see you on the other side.